I think if you look at India today and most of the projects that have been announced, we have more and more what I call upstream capacity, whether it's steel, whether it's aluminium, whether it's copper, that has been announced in the country. I think that for a good reason, you have the ore and hence you can produce the raw material, whether it's steel, whether it's aluminium. But I think the problem that the country faces is that our economy is growing, our consumption is growing, and hence there is a need for more end consumer goods, whether it's cars, whether it's air conditioners, whether it's white goods. And the problem that the government can very clearly see is that majority of these is 100% imported. And hence the government has started to put out PLI schemes when they realize that, most air conditioners are at the best assembled in India. Most cars come in from the foreign lands and are assembled as lockdown kits. And hence it's important that the metal sector starts to go from the upstream side more and more into value-added goods. And I think that is the real question we have to face, because manufacturing as a percentage of GDP in India, it's still about 13 to 14%. And if you look at our ambitions to go up the per capita income side, there is no country in the world that has managed to do that without a significant expansion into manufacturing. The second thing is that, whether it's mining and upstream, the quality of jobs that you create when you get into downstream manufacturing, whether it is forging, whether it's extrusions, whether it is rolling, it's a much higher degree of capabilities that is required. They're much more higher paying and more qualified jobs. And I think that that's why it's important, and I want to bring in what the government of Odisha has been pushing all of us. I think in India we have to come out of the upstream box that we have put ourselves in. There is no doubt the upstream is important, but then we have to get more into downstream. And I will not give you any other company's examples but our own. Hindalco produces 1.3 million tons of raw aluminium. But our downstream capacity is about 400 kg. So the remaining is sold as ingots or wire rods, and majority of it is exported as ingots. So it's a commodity, frankly, that goes on the London Metal Exchange price. And our strategy, that's why, is to make that 350, 400 kg to 800 within the next 5 years by adding downstream capacity. And that's why we have announced a large project in Lapanga and Hirakud, where we're going to put in another rolling mill, a scrap melting. We're going to make the aluminium foil that goes into an EV battery. But this is what the country needs right now. We have to expand more into value-added goods. Otherwise, our Atmanirbhar Bharat will become an assembled in India, not a made in India. And I think that is what we have to make sure does not happen. Thank you.